What is up guys, Taiki here. Today I'll be discussing the price of Luna, the Terra ecosystem, and how you can earn yield on your Luna without taking on impermanent loss risk. So if you like the content, please like and subscribe and leave a comment in the comment section below so let's get started. Okay, so obviously let's first discuss the price of Luna because this thing has been going bananas. I mean, obviously the recent price action is like pretty strong, but I mean, even like if you take a macro view, like since July, it's just going up and to the right? I mean, as long as you like didn't get fudded out of your bags and like, didn't get liquidated, I mean, like how can you be down on Luna? But obviously, I remember like back on Saturday when Bitcoin dumped like 42,000, my bag of Luna was up 18%. It was actually crazy. And I think it actually put a lot of eyeballs into Luna just because I feel like Luna is one of those assets that's not really paid attention to. I feel like a lot of crypto Twitter, social media, they focus on Solana, Ethereum, Avalanche, just because they have like a lot of marketing, right? And there's like Ava Labs and like the Solana, like FTX, they spend a lot of money marketing these assets, whereas Terra doesn't really market them. So, when people actually start learning about the Terra ecosystem, I think it's gonna, be met with positive price action. Now, I don't really think it's gonna just keep going vertical just because Astroport got delayed, right? It got delayed to next week, and like Mars also got delayed to January. So I think until those two protocols are actually live, I don't necessarily think that there's gonna be some like crazy price action. I mean, the markets, could price it in ahead of time, right? And maybe those events are solid news or whatever. For example, like the Mars event in January, maybe this thing like goes to like $100. That could be a solid news, right? Because everything could get priced in. But I'm just like macro bullish Luna. I love the tokenomics, and I choose to hodl it, right? I have no intentions of selling it anytime soon. So my goal is like asking myself, how can I earn yield on my Luna, right? Because I don't want to sell my Luna, and I don't really want to provide liquidity for Luna just because I think it's going to go up, and impermanent loss is a pain in the ass. So before I get into farms, let's kind of go over, or let's kind of celebrate, right? Terra entering the top 10. I think this was inevitable, and I also think it's inevitable that Terra is going to flip Polkadot over time. It's going to flip XRP over time, and I think it's going to flip Cardano over time. I just think it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen this year. But over the macro scale, I do think that even if it doesn't flip Cardano, it should get to the market cap of Cardano where it's at now, roughly 45 billion, maybe even higher, right? As long as Bitcoin is bullish. So just macro bullish. So let's kind of first discuss Stader Labs and the community farming event that just went live today. So I talked about Stader Labs, I think last week, and the new asset they're introducing called LUNAX. So LUNAX is a liquid derivative of a staked Luna. And why this is important is let's kind of discuss down here. So when you stake your Luna on Terra Station, yes, you earn yield, you receive airdrops and whatever, but you can't really use it in DeFi, right? Or you can't really use it in TeFi, right? Terra Finance, because it's a staked, and if you want to use your Luna, right, in the Terra ecosystem, you have to unbond it, which takes 21 days. But what LUNAX allows for is that you can stake your Luna, right, and receive airdrops, receive staking fees, but also have LUNAX be liquid and be able to use it in decentralized exchanges and in other protocols such as Anchor and TerraSwap, etc. So how it works is that LUNAX is an auto-compounding accrual token like AUST that can be minted when users stake with Stader using a liquid staking pool. So AUST is essentially UST that appreciates roughly 19.5% over time, right? So over time, AUST is going to be worth more UST. So similarly, if the staking reward for Luna is 8%, 12 months from now, one LUNAX is going to be worth 1.08 Luna, right? Because LUNAX is accruing value. And the power of LUNAX is you can actually use it right now to farm with. And also, when you have LUNAX, you're also eligible for airdrops. So what you can do now is that you can essentially stake your LUNAX and receive yield, right, and be paid SD tokens, which is a Stader token. So this is the application, right? I'll provide links in the description for everything. But the farm right now is if you provide liquidity for LUNAX and Luna, you get to receive 25, or the entire pool receives 25,000 SD a day. It doesn't really show the APR or APY, so I don't really know what that is. But this essentially has zero impermanent loss risk just because you're taking Luna and you're pairing it with Luna. So I would think of this as, to simplify things, right? Stake your Luna and earn SD. Okay, and you're also your LUNAX while you're farming with it is going to be accruing value. And I'll also provide a link in the description of the step-by-step guide But keep in mind, you have to be in a liquidity provider position, right? So if you have 100 Luna to start out with, you have to stake 50 of your Luna, right? So you have 50 Luna, 50 Luna X, and then provide liquidity on TerraSwap, right? And links will be in the description here. And then you're just gonna be farming. So I don't know if this 26% APY is accurate, but that's what's on this article. Hopefully the team updates this over time. But I mean, this just came live today, so you should expect them to just slowly update the website, and don't expect everything to be perfect day one of launch. Okay, so Stader Labs there. So I'm not going to be participating in this one, right? I just wanted to share with you guys because I just think it's a cool opportunity, and I'm just like generally bullish liquid staking protocols, or just like the utility of it, right? I'm not necessarily bullish the Stader token, just because the tokens in the Terra ecosystem tends to bleed against Luna, right? Luna just outperforms every token in the Terra ecosystem. I think one exception might be Astroport. I think Astroport can actually do well, right? And Astroport is coming December 14th, the lock drop at least. So what I'll be doing is I'm just gonna essentially take all my Luna, right? All my Luna that I've been accumulating since July, and just put it into the Luna pool. So similarly to the LUNAX pool, this essentially has very little impermanent loss risk. So in my mind, I think of this as staking my Luna to earn Astro. And I think I'll be locking my Luna for like roughly 6 months. I mean, I haven't really, I need to see the numbers first, and I need to think through it more. But I don't really plan on selling my Luna, right? For at least 6 months. Maybe I'm too bullish. Maybe I'm too optimistic. But I bought my Luna in July, and I don't really plan on selling my Luna until it hits long-term capital gains. So I might as well just take my Luna and just lock it up and earn Astro, because Astro is going to be the Uniswap, Curve, and balancer of the Terra ecosystem. They're not going to have any competition. They're going to essentially be like the monopoly of the entire Terra ecosystem. I think they're going to have billions of TVL. I think it's going to just be a token that's going to be good. And hopefully, if you've been following me in Luna since July, and you've been using the Terra ecosystem, you'll be eligible for the Astro airdrop coming. I think I think like December 27th, right, or the 28th. Because Astroport launch got delayed 8 days, so I'm assuming that you'll receive your Astro tokens on December 28th, right? So hopefully, I'm hoping it's like a 4-figure airdrop, maybe 5 figures if you're super optimistic. But I think it's gonna be a pretty decent airdrop, and I'm really looking forward to just farming Astro. I'm just bullish Astro, bullish Luna, and if I can take my Luna, stake it, essentially, and earn Astro, why not, right? Why not? That's what farming is all about. And let's kind of discuss like why the price of Luna has been going up. So obviously I talked about the tokenomics of Luna and why I think Luna has the best tokenomics in crypto, or one of the best tokenomics in crypto, right? There are a bunch of like good projects out there. But essentially, like if the demand for UST goes up, you have to burn Luna to compensate for the increased demand in UST. And obviously this thing is just going up and to the right. And I think one of the reasons there's so much demand for UST is because what is this? There's this new UST strategy on Degen box for Abracadabra money. So I've been talking about Abracadabra as well. I've been farming spell with my stable coins and whatever. But this is an interesting pool, and I think you can actually earn pretty good yield on your stable coins. So essentially, what goes on in the background is you can take your UST, deposit it into Abracadabra, and then you can borrow MIM, right, which is a stable coin. And in the back end, Degen box, they're gonna take your UST, 85% of it, bridge it to Terra, deposit it into Anchor, right? And it'll take your AUST, bridge it back to Ethereum, and use it as collateral. And you can kind of loop this, right? So imagine you have $10,000 of UST, deposit it as collateral. Let's say you borrow $6,000 worth of MIM, right? And most of that gets bridged to Terra, and it's earning 19.5%, right? Because this is earning 19.4%. And then it's gonna bridge the AUSD back to Ethereum, use it as collateral, borrow more MIM, bridge that back to the Terra ecosystem on Anchor, mint AUSD, bridge that back. So it's kind of like looping this entire thing where you deposit UST, which is earning roughly 19%. You borrow MIM against that position. You convert that MIM to AUSD, bridge it to Terra, deposit in Anchor, take AUSD back to Ethereum, then use that as collateral to borrow more MIM and kind of loop this over time. And it's kind of funny because this Degen box strategy is actually number 3 in terms of TVL, right? So there's Convex Tri Crypto on Ethereum, that's number 1 in TVL on Abracadabra, and there's this Staked ETH Yearn Vault here, and then UST is number 3, this Degen box strategy. And it's pretty funny just because there's a lot of demand to borrow MIM, right? So as you can see, the MIM left to borrow is $55, right? So like every time this this pool opens up, like everyone wants to deposit UST into this pool just because the yields are pretty insane. And with the tokenomics of UST and Terra, I mean, if more people are buying UST to enter this, then Luna has to be burned just because there's like incremental demand for UST, and you have to burn Luna to compensate for that. So a funny Twitter account you can follow is MIM Replenishes. It's a Twitter account that kind of tweets whenever MIM gets replenished, right? So for example, right now no one can really deposit into here, but let's say tomorrow there's like 10 million MIM that's available to borrow. This Twitter account is gonna tweet and say, hey everyone, it's available, right? And what's funny is that obviously there's always these tweets and they get like no interaction, right? Like no one really cares, right? But for MIM replenishes, when 100 million MIM are available to be minted on Ethereum using USD as collateral, look how much engagement that this tweet gets, because everyone is waiting to deposit UST into this Degen block strategy, just because you can earn pretty decent yield. So Eric goes through it best. It's like why is there so much demand, right? Saad, who's like, why is this? What is this? So it kind of goes up the strategy, and if you actually loop it 10 times, you can actually earn like up to 160%. So I don't recommend looping it this much, right? Just because sometimes UST does depeg just a little bit, and you don't want to get liquidated. But like maybe you loop it 5 times or something. I'm not necessarily like doing this just because I don't want to operate on Ethereum, but you can kind of see how much demand there is for UST on the Ethereum mainnet, and obviously when you can earn 19.4% on Anchor, people are just going to be buying UST, right? And what does that do? Well, the number of UST goes up, and more Luna is burnt, and price of Luna generally just goes up over time, right? And that's kind of why I'm super bullish Terra. And there's this website called Terra Analytics, which kind of goes over how much Luna is being burned every single day. So I've heard that this number isn't perfectly accurate, right? So don't quote me on this, but as you can see, I mean, it's kind of just like just the supply chains of Luna, right? If it's negative, it just means Luna is being burned, and Luna is just being burned every single day, just because people want UST, right? People just want UST, and there's just like so much demand for UST. So just bullish Luna. So 2 options if you want to stake your Luna, earn yield. There's Stader, right? Just provide liquidity here, earn SD tokens. Hopefully they update the website with accurate APYs, or just wait until December 14th and enter the Luna and BLuna pool. And this is what I'm doing. I think the longer you lock up your position, the more APY, or the higher APY you receive. So I'm just gonna plan on locking it up for like roughly maybe like 4 to 8 months, right? I feel like that's accurate, and I don't want to be in this like up only mindset where I just like lock up I just keep locking my assets for like 2 years or something. But that's what I'll be doing. And so if you like the content, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section below. If you want to know how I'm navigating the markets, check out the private Discord. Link will be in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and have fun farming out there.